The Anthropophobia project uses music as a diary. He's not terribly good with words, so he uses melody to express himself. He uses sound as a therapeutic outlet for emotions and feelings. Even though there are few lyrics, he wears his feelings on his sleeves. It's the only place that he is able to open up completely. He was apprehensive releasing such personal songs, but at the act of letting go is part of the therapeutic process. I have Michael Harrison, the man behind the Anthropophobia project. I'm doing my best to say it right, man. Can you say it for me one more time, please?
Yeah, sure. It's the Anthropophobia project.
Wonderful. Dude, Michael, how you doing today, man?
I'm good. How are you?
I am amazing, dude. I think things are on the up. We're recording this on a Friday morning, so we got the weekend ahead of us. I'm feeling good. I'm super excited to talk about the music you've got here. So can you walk me through it, man? Like, this is a very interesting sound. Like, where does this come from?
So I started getting into music just because I was starting to feel a little bit like the music that I was hearing, it was just getting stagnant, and I just wasn't really feeling any new music and stuff like that. So I ended up just I started learning. I started with GarageBand actually on my computer, and I just started messing around with different sounds and stuff. And I upgraded to Logic, and that just opened up all kinds of doors for me. And so I just kind of started just throwing different sounds together, and it ended up turning into, people call it post rock, but it's just kind of, I started with instrumental rock music, just with no structure or anything like that. It just was whatever, whatever came out. And so, like I said in the bio, I just kind of used it as an outlet, and I used it as my diary. And so, a lot of songs are very personal, very, heartfelt, things like that. And it just kind of turned out to be, exactly what I would make music to be exactly what I needed to listen to at the moment. Yeah. And so, this new song that I just finished, it turned out that, so my sister, she got diagnosed with stage 4 colon cancer not too long ago.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, man.
Yeah, it's been really rough because I'm really, really close with my sister. But we got some really good news. We got news that the chemo is working, and a lot of the spots in her are shrinking, and some of them have actually disappeared. And so that's what this new song is about. Just this new chain of events that just kind of turned the tables on everything. And so that's what I wrote about with this last one. So like I was saying, it's just the emotions and everything that get built up inside. It's just that I use the music to just get it out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. And I totally resonate with that. Myself as a music creator, like I totally, like there's nothing more therapeutic than just picking up a guitar and just like letting it rip. But I'm
absolutely, yeah.
I'm like kind of curious, like how does it work for you? Like, is it, because like obviously emotions are very fluid, and like, sometimes you feel a certain way and you may not have an opportunity to, you're not close to music to like express it. Like, how do you, I guess my long-winded way of asking, like, what's the songwriting process for you?
It fluctuates. A lot of times, I'll just either sit down at my computer, fire up Logic, and just put down a drum beat and open up a plugin, like a guitar effects plugin, and just kind of see what happens. Or a lot of times I have like a pedal board, effects pedal board that have a looper on there, and I'll sit there and I'll just dink around until I find something that I like, and then I'll just continue playing along with it. And then when it comes to something, or when it kind of comes to fruition, it kind of gets to something where I really like the way it sounds, then I'll be like, okay, now I can record that. And then what I do, because I'm not very good technically on the guitar or any of the instruments that I play, but I am really good with layering and making things sound a lot bigger than what they really are, just by adding, synthesizer layers and multiple layers of guitars and everything like that, just to kind of fill up the sound spectrum. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, so it just, it really just depends on the mood, and what I'm feeling. If I'm going to go for a lot of really, really thick guitar guitar sounds, you know, distortion, things like that, to just kind of fill out what I'm feeling at the moment, you know?
Yeah. Cool, man. I like it. Well, so you kind of alluded to it briefly about the song, The Magnificent Turn of Events. Sounds like a pretty uplifting track, but can you kind of do a little more of an intro for us? Like what's this all about?
Sure. Yeah. Well, like I said, my sister was diagnosed with stage 4 colon cancer, and we got, she had a PET scan is what it's called. And we were all, you know, all my other brothers and sisters and everything, we're all just waiting on pins and needles to hear, you know, the new news of whether it's working or not, because she's such a big part of the family, you know, and it was very tense. It was a very tense moment. And then she got word that all the doctors and everything were just blown away by the results. It was such a wave of emotion that came over me. I just had to do something with it. And so what the song is about is, you know, I'm talking about waking up and being overwhelmed, you know, like just hold on a second. I'll get to you in a second kind of thing. But I can tell that something is really pressing. Something is really exciting. And, you know, I want you to tell me about it, but just give me a second because I'm just waking up kind of thing. And then, you know, hearing the news, it was like, oh my goodness, you know, that's exactly what I wanted to hear from you. And now I can actually sleep, you know, now I can actually relax and I can breathe a little bit. And so it was just, all of that just coming into these just enormous emotions and things like that. And so it just kind of turned out to be a happy release, you know? And so that's where the song came from.
Well, dude, I'm so happy to hear that. You know, I relate to that. My mom's going through, you know, colon cancer treatment right now through chemo. So,
oh man.
Yeah. So, you know, also though, I mean, you know, positive outlooks on both ends. It sounds like for both of us, you know, things are going really well. And so things are looking up overall. So I'm super excited, man, that you brought this track here. It's a fun one. Let's jump into it. This is a song called The Magnificent Turn of Events by the Anthropophobia Project. I think I got it right, hopefully.
Yep.
All right, that was the magnificent turn of events by the Anthropophobia project. Yeah, really cool stuff, man. I do love that you mentioned it in your bio that you wear your emotions on your sleeve. I think that's what the best art is. An expression of like these intense emotional feelings we have, whether it's the intense highs or the intense lows, and kind of everything
Absolutely.
in between. And so I appreciate you, putting it all out there in the form of music, man. I think it's really important.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, and it's really cool because since these songs are so personal and so emotionally full, I guess it's really nice to have somebody else jive with it, and feel it the way it's supposed to be felt. So it's very satisfying when somebody else can hear it and really get it, So
yeah, I think it's really important, man. I do. I mean, I think there's a time and a place for all types of music, but I think very very frequently songs like this can really help get people through tough times, and so I think what you're doing is important, and I appreciate it very much. So keep doing what you're doing, man. Keep making good music. So out there, you said you're based in the West Coast. You're in Vancouver, Washington, not to be confused with Vancouver, BC.
Nope.
So basically like a more or less a suburb of Portland, right? It's pretty close to Portland.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty much.
Sweet. So are there any kind of under the radar artists or friends, maybe people you've played with out there that you think people should hear about and you want to give a quick shout out to right now? Yeah,
absolutely. The guy that told me about this new song that I'm working on right now, he's on SoundCloud. He goes by the name of the Haunted. Oh shoot, what is his name? Sorry.
No worries.
Simple of the Haunted Man.
The Haunted Man.
Yeah, he's really cool. And then I do collaborations with a guy by the name of the Aquarios. He does a lot of piano post rock, so it's like really mellow, really chill. Just instrumental music just to relax to, and it's really nice. It's really good to zone out and just kind of unwind with his music. So
yeah,
so big shout out to him. He's my buddy.
Awesome, great stuff. Yeah, I mean, you had before we had jumped on, turned on the mics to record this thing. You were mentioning that you had a lot of collaboration inbound requests and stuff coming in. So like, what's that like? And then second off, do you have any like tips or anything, I guess, for other artists who are looking to maybe get their work out and collaborate with other people?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, it's all about, it's such a big social media world now. It's undoubtedly changing the music industry. So, to be really present on things, like SoundCloud, Facebook, Reddit, things like that. Just listen to other people's songs and, give them honest feedback and things like that. And a lot of times people will say, thanks for checking it out. I checked out your stuff too, by the way. Do you ever do any collaborations or anything like that? And in fact, I reached out to somebody this morning. And it's that easy, and all you have to do is you get your stems together with your DAW and all your tracks and everything like that. You just send it over the internet, and you can collaborate with anybody. I collaborated with people in South Africa, Switzerland, all kinds of stuff. So just be open to anything. You know what I mean? And just be open to trying out other things that you've never tried before. Because I wasn't really big on cover songs either, but I was kind of running out of ideas, it seemed like, and I use music as such a it's just such a big part of my life. I was getting kind of nervous because I didn't know what to do with myself, and so I started doing cover songs. And it's just being able to sit there and listen to another professional's music so intently that you want to do it, you want to reproduce it. You have to, you learn a lot, you know what I mean? By having to listen to, the drum beats individually, and then how the bass line goes and how the vocals come in at a certain time and things like that. And it just, I guess, my advice for anybody that wants to branch out and, if they're feeling the way I did, where, I was feeling a bit stagnant and a bit at a loss for ideas, just reach out to people. You reach out to people on social media or try doing some cover songs. Just listen to a song really, really closely and just see if you can do it. I did a couple songs, and I was really surprised at how well they turned out. So you never know. You never know until you try it.
Awesome. Great advice. Thanks for diving in and sharing, man. So where can people find you if they want to stay in touch with the latest music from the Anthropophobia project and other stuff like that? Oh, man, I'm all over the place. So you can find me, if you can spell the name properly, you can find me on SoundCloud. My music's all over on Bandcamp, Facebook, Twitter. Anywhere you can think of with social media, I'm probably on there. So, awesome.
And I love hearing from people. So anybody that wants to give me a shout out and tell me what they think of the music, I love hearing from people. It makes things worth it. So
wonderful. Well, hey man, thanks so much for sharing. Thanks so much for coming on the show. I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me. It was really fun.
Yep, you bet, man.